we are born with the instinct to look for human figures and faces. Small infants look for the mother when they're born before they know anything. Older children and grown-ups don't see the people.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
What if you see both? What does that tell you about your...
Okay, if you see both.
No, it will be
Problems.
one or the other.
And I didn't have any idea. But once I worked at it, you tell your brain to find a solution. Then I found a wind organ. By pushing and 6 degrees, rotating each pipe, and giving it a yaw of 6 degrees and a roll of 6 degrees, I can make a perfect arch, visually bending the pipes.
Is that just a plan, or have you
This
done
was the
it?
plan.
So you haven't done it?
Oh.
This is the...
Yeah, that is.
Wow.
Does it
Another-
sound as well?
spent more or less time abroad in some way. And so you all have a little bit of experience, some of you more, others less. Some actually work in different countries than their country of origin. And I have done this quite a bit during my postdoc time as well. So I thought we go through the room and collect all the different nationalities we have, where you come from originally, and where you work or study now, or where you plan to study at some point, or where you would like to be, and just see what kind of collection of nationalities we get here. So we have Stig, since we are in Norway, and Stig is Norwegian and he works in Norway. That's pretty boring. So I think we can do better than that. So we have a bunch of Germans here. No matter where you go on this planet, there will always be a bunch of Germans. And that's the case here as well. So that's myself, that's Daniel and Marlin. And we don't work in Germany anymore, we work in Norway now. Okay, that's still pretty boring. But I have also worked in a couple of other countries, including France, the US, Denmark and England. So they don't even go because they are not supposed to participate in anything like this. So to include them in social activities is really hard, and you have to make an effort, which British don't necessarily do until they actively think about it. You know, can we have some party where it's alcohol free, or
You can use again the income, and again reinvestments are necessary to generate new capital, and the remaining share yields the profit. We again have now, in one case, maybe even additional costs or even additional income in the production, in the profit function. And for this we have now some preliminary results. Here we have some animations. Here on this axis you see the time. Here's the production capital, and here the investments in production capital, so it's really only the production part. And you see now some animations. The red line is now the optimal solution, and the blue line again shows how the firm should behave in order to reach this optimal solution. So following the blue path, it approaches this optimal solution. And what is important here is that in contrast to the previous approach, where the optimal solution was only 1 point, we have here again a limit cycle. So the optimal solution is varying over the time. So you see here the passes, and at the black line now, suddenly a second solution occurs. So we have now here a high solution and a low solution, and exactly on this black line the firm is indifferent between these two solutions. So
Beginning of the process.
Yeah. far that we couldn't follow their tracks.
But we could identify tired.
We have here.
Hello from Mr. Forty.
Уж недаром я в глубине очей вижу траур я по душе своей. Не встречались бы, не влюблялись бы, не страдали бы, не расстались бы. Но не грустен я, не печален я, утешительно знать судьба моя. Очень черные, очень ясные, очень жгучие и прекрасные.
Methane and water combined into a solid. Gas hydrates could be a tremendous resource. More than half of the organic carbon in the world is stored as gas hydrates. Further, gas is a relatively clean energy resource compared to coal and oil. It emits less CO2, especially it emits less, say, black carbon. A resource area, potential gas resource that is very susceptible to change and stability. You really need to know what you're doing if you want to exploit this area, so that we can exploit it in a stable, in a safe way, and actually get the gas out of there. Because when it comes to gas hydrates, there's really no room for failure. Very high resolution 3D seismic surveys to get a really good overview of the seafloor and what's beneath.
They will take part to our first field season, and they will be doing filming, and we can put some results in the document already.
Речка движется и не движется, вся из чистого серебра, песня слышится и не слышится в эти тихие вечера. Что ж ты, милая, смотришь искоса, низко голову наклоня, трудно высказать и не высказать все, что на сердце у меня. Трудно высказать и не высказать все, что на сердце у меня.
We're really excited about the ideas we have, and we hope you will be too. I'd like to present the new working group, Allow Fact, Arctic lipid levels in ocean waters and fish nutritional adaptive trends. The Barents Sea is critical to all of us. It's one of the most productive marine areas in the world, and in the Arctic, approximately 70% of the world's whitefish is caught there. Using their data and then putting in new data points, sampling sites in between their grid line and in places where no one has gone before. Now, this is a huge topic, and to approach this, we will be conducting bioeconomic modeling addressing uncertainty. This is in collaboration with the University of Amsterdam.
So, to sum this up, this slide shows an overview about the conceptual model. So, we have said that climate change, of course, leads to decreasing ice surface in the high north, and these changes in water temperature has a strong impact on the lipid content in Calanus, which plays a major role in the nutrition of our considered species.
3-day workshop. The first day is primarily public education and activities, so really communicating our research to the layperson, The students will be actually presenting and hosting some of these workshops, presenting their
The
films.
song written by Zhenya Lubich, which is Russian singer, she wrote it herself, and it is called Russian Girl. I'm in a rush, I just have to pack my bag with cash and flash, and it's certain to get back to my country. Didn't know that it's forbidden, I'm sorry. I'm just a simple Russian girl. I've got vodka in my blood, so I dance with brown bears, and my soul is torn apart. So I dance with brown bears, and my soul is torn apart. Now you know it is common to forget about the law, when especially your life is like a tank. It can drive you mad, so you can rob a bank. I'm just a simple Russian girl. I've got vodka in my blood, so I dance with brown bears, and my soul is torn apart. So I dance with brown bears, and my soul is torn apart. Let me go, I won't ever try to do this anymore. If you let, I'll kiss you on the cheek 3 times. This is a tradition, don't you be surprised. I'm just a simple Russian girl. I've got vodka in my blood, so I dance with brown bears, and my soul is torn apart. So I dance with brown bears, and my soul is torn apart.
Our project, ASCA, will advance security and shared knowledge in the Arctic with the ultimate goal of developing an evergreen code, an open memorandum among the various actors involved and affected by oil development in the Arctic.
Now, there they are, and we also have them up on the board there for your future reference. Steering committee, which is going to be comprised of representatives from industry, from government, from the First Nations, and also from academia. And these guys will meet once during the project before we publish the final findings from the synthesis work, and they'll meet in Ottawa, and it'll be an opportunity to get some peer review on the project. And very exciting news after Scott though came the other evening. We managed to collar him and had a good chat with him, and we basically commissioned him to produce a piece of art for us, which is going to be called the Tagatsa Otse, which means joining on the same path for the common good.
We'll start with questions over here.
Going to involve any PhDs in this work? I didn't see.
One thing we
Maybe
can show
it's
you
lost
We
somewhere.
have a detailed budget at the end. I mean, we just want to just edit.
breaks down
Yeah.
some of this. So for example, in the second work package, you can see that we've got Marnie out there with 2 representatives from the regional peoples to work with her to help her develop this
But will
portfolio.
you have 2 PhD positions on this?
No, we aren't funding PhD, but we aren't asking for funding for PhD positions because we've got agreements with universities to let master's students and PhD students give some of their time towards working on this project.
State and environmental aspects. It's seems to be quite high on industry and native people.
Well, we have
There's a couple. There are a couple, but
4 government, 3 industry, 4 native, and 2 academics.
So hush, after students, don't you cry. Okay, everybody. It's Svolvær time. Young Scientist Forum is easy. Students are working. Expectations are high. Your projects are rich. And your graphics good looking. So hush, after students, don't you cry. So hush, after students. don't you cry.
Oh yeah, no, outreach is definitely, well,
solution for this. But the reporter was crying at different
yeah, that's what
It's very interesting.
I can give you the money. Doesn't mean anything. I have watched it. I was going to brought an additional one in case groups need to prepare at the same time. How many answers will be?
Like a shooting this rise. I feel nice. Like a shooting this rise.
But you can improve the pool laws, and we calculated spatial scale and wind speed. For this one, we use another satellite data such as NVSAT to receive wind speed, and here we can see pool laws which have wind speed more than 20 meters per second.
For industrial interests, this is a good topic to look at, but I don't look at that in particular. I just want to look at exactly what depositional environment it was at the time, and trying to improve people's ideas or concepts of what the depositional basin, sort of distinctions I can make chemically between these two rocks. And we're still thinking about that. Thank you.
These temperate marine zones at 260 million years ago, are they all, why Svolvær?
So hush, Octo students, don't you cry. So hush, Octo students.